Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about why you should feel good all of the time. I had someone that was frustrated with me because I had said this, that you should feel good all the time. You should do your best to try to feel good. And they came back, but if you do that, then you're going to hurt other people. You're going to do things for your own gratification. You're going to do things that are evil. No. It has nothing to do with that. I presume when I'm talking to good people that I don't have to outline every single reason and thing that you shouldn't do. These should be basic things written on your heart, the law of God written in your heart. You know these things already. So of course, feeling good doesn't mean hurting someone else. That goes without saying. You shouldn't have to explain that. It's not about hurting other people or just being so selfish and self-absorbed that you only do things to make yourself happy, even if it means hurting other people. That's not going to make you feel good if you're a good person at heart. If you've been redeemed, that's not going to make you feel good to know you hurt someone else. So you couldn't feel good while hurting someone else. And so you could not live up to this ideal that I'm explaining about feeling good all the time, or at least as often as you can, because obviously there's things in your life that will make you not feel good. And that's a perfectly reasonable response to those things. But you should always strive to get back to that place of feeling good. Now, some people don't understand this. Feeling good most of the time is not about selfishness. It's not about doing anything wrong to anyone else if it would lead to your end happiness. Not at all. The best people do feel good most of the time. It's the miserable people, the depressed, the angry people, they're the ones lashing out at others. They're the ones hurting other people. It's not your positive, upbeat, feeling good person who's going around hurting people, who's going around angry, who's going around mad, who's going around sulking and being miserable and bringing their misery to others. That's not a good person who's feeling good most of the time. As often as they can, they're trying to constantly be in that vibration of feeling good. Those people who are feeling good, they're not going around hurting other people. They're not doing things that would harm someone else in order to get the thing that they want. That's not going to make you feel good if you're a good person in good vibrations who is doing the right things. And of course, this shouldn't have to be explained, but there's too often people who are fault finding. They want to find a reason around things because they like being miserable. So when you tell them you need to try to feel good as often as you possibly can, they want to find a reason. Oh, well, no, what about this? And I got to feel bad about this. And I got to be depressed. What about this news over here? Did you see the news about this? Did you hear about this? They always want to be wallowing around in misery, degradation, and the filth of the world. But I'm encouraging you to rise up out of that and feel good as often as you possibly can. All the time, preferably. But at least today what you could do is if you're 90% of your day is feeling miserable, could you make it 85%? Could you spend 5% of the time you would normally feel miserable thinking about good and positive, uplifting things? And then the next day, make it down to 80%. And start working your way down to the 0% miserable, 0% negativity, 0% anger or wrath or whatever. And you're in that 100% positive, 100% feeling good about life, about things, about the glorious blessings of God that overflow and abound towards you each and every day. This is a simple mindset tweak. It may take some work because you've probably had years of practice going a different direction. And if you're actively watching the news and consuming the media that the world produces, you're going to be 100% guaranteed in a negative vibration a lot of the time. Because you can't consume that stuff, which, let me be quite blunt about it, it's garbage. It's trash. Even the so-called clean stuff, because this is what some people get confused about. They call themselves professing Christians, but they're watching all this worldly filth, but they say it's clean. As if the only thing that is bad about the media that they're consuming is if it has profanity or nudity or violence or something. Not the negativity, the depressed state, the fact it just robs you of your critical thinking skills and puts you into a programming mode, and all the subtle nonsense and delusions that they push to you in those clean programs. But look how pathetically low a standard the world has caused you to set for yourself. That as long as it's not profanity or violence or nudity, then it's good somehow. And yet there's nothing clean about it. It's low vibration degradation to your soul. What you call clean. Some of those might be the most filthy because the other stuff is more blatant and obvious when it's something negative. Whether it be profanity, whether it be the violence or whatever, those are obvious. And oftentimes in these supposed clean things is the most subtle and evil and sinister things that are seeping into your subconscious mind and robbing you of the glory of God in your life. Robbing you of being in a high vibration, robbing you of moving up to another level of greatness. So you should strive to feel good. Just think in your life, who are the people who you've known who make other people miserable, who bring a dark cloud, so to speak, into the room when they walk in? Those aren't the people who are always trying to feel good. Those people who are hurting other people and lashing out and stealing and doing all these things just to get their way, they are not people who are happy. They are not people who are trying to feel good most of the time. They're miserable people who are enacting misery upon others and reaping even more of it in their own lives. And they're certainly selfish, but they're not seeking after goodness and to be happy and to feel good most of the time. And this is very important because the world will try to tell you this is, well, you know, that's selfish. You don't want to think about yourself. You got to think about others. And because if you get pushed down and are wallowing around in the world's misery and failure and depression and this bad news and that bad news and these bad tidings and all these things, you can't build anyone else up. You can't lift anyone else up when you're both stuck in the ditch. It's the blind leading the blind in that case. And tragically, most of those blind people don't even realize they're blind. They're feeling around in the dark, completely oblivious to the fact that they're blind because they've been blinded by the world, the media, all this nonsense and trivialities of life that degrade them and keep them away from operating in the fullness of God. And so this is something you'll have to consciously do at first. Eventually it'll become a subconscious, just instant thing you do, where you instantly go into feeling good. You instantly move into that positive vibration. You think about those things that are good, those things that are just, those things that are lovely, those things that are of good report. You're going to keep going into that mindset. But it might at first take you conscious effort to notice that you're thinking something negative. And here's a real tip. You may say, well, how do I know if I'm not feeling good, or what if it's just kind of Listen, if you have that kind of bad feeling, and here's a way you could test it, something you don't like, whether it be food, whether it be a book, whatever it may be, something you don't like, what is the feeling that that item gives you? And then compare that to something you do like and the feeling that gives you. That can be a real subtle way of seeing the differences between those feelings. And then you can easily know if you have that subtle negativity. Okay, I need to switch over into good vibrations. I need to switch over into feeling positive, uplifting, edifying to myself and others. I can't drag around in this. And because so many people have spent so much of their waking life being negative, they can't even, if they switch to just a little bit less negative, they feel like they're positive now. And yet they're not. And so this is where you got to really get into the details, notice what you're thinking, be brutally honest with yourself. Is this really positive? Is this thought I'm thinking right now, these things I'm thinking about, are they building me up? Are they good toward other people? Are they good toward myself? Are they edifying? Or are they distracting? Are they dragging me down? Are they making me feel bad? And if you start doing that and taking control over your thought life, not being controlled by it, but you take control over it, you become the master of your own thoughts, and you redirect those thoughts to good things, you will start to see a great shift in your life. And then because you are feeling good most of the time, your life is going to radically change. The actual events you see going on around you is going to change. The people who come into your life are going to change. And your influence on other people is going to change. Instead of you feeling bad in the morning, so you go to work and you let it out on other people, you may start off the morning, oh, I don't feel that great. And then you get yourself into good vibration. You get yourself into thinking positive things. And by the time you get to work, you're spreading cheer and joy and love and peace. Not misery, not, oh, it's another Monday. And all this nonsense that the world talks you into. You'll think about those good, lovely, just things. And you're going to bring about goodness to yourself and those around you. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.